There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Imagineers Disney Podcast. Hope you guys are having a great week. I'm your host, Matt, and I am joined, as always, by my good friend and co-host, Susie. Hello, friend.
Hi. How's your week going?
Good so far.
Okay, good,
Yeah,
good.
Not bad. How about yours?
Thank you for asking. This is my second week at a new job.
Uh-huh.
So very exciting. Yes, I'm not a full-time podcaster. But if you'd like to join our Patreon, no. Yeah, so I started a new job last week and going into it this week, get to work from home some, which is awesome. I love that flexibility. So I've had a good few weeks. Yeah. Life is exciting.
Wow. That's great. Like I know you've been excited about this job for a little bit, and it's good to see you in a role that definitely fits you. So
yeah,
marketing and all that fun stuff. So
yeah. Well, how about you? You've started something new recently as well. Do you want to go ahead and just kind of share what's going on in your life? I'll tattle on you.
Sure. Go ahead. I've been peer pressured. I succumbed to peer pressure.
He wanted to do it, y'all. He's in it for the medals.
I have officially signed up, not just for my first 5K, but my first Disney 5K, and not just one 5K, 3 5Ks. What am I doing?
Yeah, Matt and myself are doing the Run Disney virtual series this summer. It is Lion King themed, which I think is really what put Matt over the edge to do it. But if you run all three, which you could sign up for any of those three individually, but if you do all three, it's the challenge, and so you get a 4th medal. So yeah, it is. It's sold out very quickly.
Oh, there they are.
There it is. So cool. So we both got in. I was scared. My internet went out for like a second. There was an issue with something loading at work and I had to refresh it. I had it on my phone and I got it. I was scared. And then Matt told me he didn't. And I felt so bad because we hyped it up.
Yeah, I might have said.
But he lied.
And also, fun fact, if you were interested in running these races, you can no longer sign up for the individual 5Ks because that was an option. You could sign up for the, what is it? Classic Broadway
and Reimagined.
So you cannot do the individual races anymore, but you can sign up for the challenge, which is all.
Okay. Yeah, and you have until the end of August. I think it's the end of August. Yeah, so plenty of time. So Matt has started running. Been sending him some tips. So we did it, guys.
So here's the thing. I have not willingly run a mile probably since college. So this is a lifestyle change. I'm doing it for a lifestyle change to be more healthy. I'm also starting to eat better. Cutting out some of the bad, all of the bad stuff.
If I can get Matt to run and go vegetarian, I will have completed my job as co-host of this show.
So I'm trying to eat better. I'm drinking at least a gallon of water a day. So,
nice.
So far I've been
very
good. But yeah, it's
good
been
for you.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so exciting. So outside of
using the Jeff Galloway 5K app. So
yay. Yes, yeah, that revolutionized my running, and my times have improved like in the last 2 years, over 2 minutes a mile, which is a lot once you get down to
Look,
my numbers.
if I'm going to do this, I'm going to have a training with a dude who has run like probably, I think, 150 marathons.
Yeah, he knows what he's talking about.
He knows what he's talking about. So anyway, well, hello to everyone who is coming on. So we have a few people chiming in. So our good friend Stephanie.
Yay!
Hey, Steph. Hope you're doing well.
She is. She has a Disney trip coming up soon.
Benjamin says, good old intro. I'll take that as a compliment.
Love that intro. Matt killed it on that.
Stephanie also says she normally watches podcasts on her phone, but I've got you on my TV in the living room. Wow. Okay.
Does my makeup look okay?
Joe says, hola, amigos. What's up, Joe?
Hola.
And let's see. Kelly Wood. Woohoo. Love Run Disney.
Yay.
Yes. Joe also says, you can be good. Just remember all rules are off when you get on Disney property. As I think we were talking about
for eating. Yeah.
Eating thing.
100%.
Well, and I have a Disney trip planned for mid-May, and I'm going to have to behave myself. So limit myself to maybe one Dole Whip. Just one.
Dole Whip isn't your problem. Not you, but just in general. I feel like it's not the like, I'll eat like a dessert on the trip. It's the like, it's all the other foods. That's where I get tempted. I love ice cream, and there's like good ice cream, but if it's like, ooh, like a big old pasta dish or something, like I never eat like that. That's where it gets exciting. Yeah.
Jeremy's watching. Hey, Jeremy.
Hey.
Hey, man. Hope things are well out there in Louisiana. But thanks to everybody for watching. And Christoph has a comment, but I'm going to save that for our main topic when we get there in just a minute. We just have a few news stories this week that we wanted to touch on. And first things first, Disneyland news. Avengers Campus opens June 4th.
Wow. I'm so excited that is happening. First of all, Disneyland is opening, and this is very soon. You know, I guess they've been working hard during all of this, however they've been allowed to.
Yeah, I think it's funny that, when Disneyland, this has been much anticipated, the Avengers Campus, it took the place of the Bugs Life area. So they removed.
Oh no!
They removed all of the Bugs Life characters and replaced them with more bugs.
Oh, Spider-Man
and
Ant-Man.
Yes.
Okay. Cute.
So we still
not Flick, like Paul Rudd.
Yes. Yes. So the Pym Test Kitchen and the Spider-Man. I want to ride that Spider-Man attraction.
Yeah, that looks sick.
And then the Quinjet attraction comes later in development, I think. So I'm pretty confident it is not ready. I think it's just going to open with Spider-Man, but should be fun. So congrats to all of our friends out in California. And
if I could wave a magic wand, I would resolve the issue so we could have stuff like that in Florida, but we can't because Universal. So
yeah.
I'd also solve world hunger, but I would probably do this first.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I have priorities.
Right. So, and just as a note for the Disneyland news, this is super exciting. Avengers Campus opening, but right now the plan is to open Disneyland with only California residents. So everybody else just kind of has to wait their turn, and when California fully reopens, they will, let people back into the parks from all over the country, all over the world. And when that happens, we will let you know, so you can make your plans to go to the place where it all started.
Yep. I have a friend who is wanting to go to Disneyland, but I'm like, not quite yet. Can't get numbers on that at this time, but it's coming.
Yep.
Just hold on, guys.
So next news item is Disney's contemporary resort rooms have started their retheme. The tarp things are up in the lobby. So when you ride the monorail through the Contemporary, you will probably see them. Or if you're walking around actually, I think it's on the monorail side. I don't know if they've started on the Bay Lake side. But these are going to be The Incredibles. It's going to be themed after The Incredibles.
How many rooms?
I don't know the exact number.
Okay.
So they did, and this was a while back. They did a test on the. We didn't see the inside, I don't think. I saw the exterior and how they kind of modified how it looks, looking from the outside of the room at the door.
Okay.
But it was on the far end of one of the floors. So, they kind of did it as discreetly as possible. But it looks like they have pulled the trigger on this finally. I have mixed emotions. I hope that it is tasteful.
It's a Contemporary. I don't think they're going to not be. That's why I want to know, like, how many, because I'll be honest with y'all. Those are great movies. I don't want to stay in a themed room at the Contemporary. I want to stay in a contemporary room at the Contemporary, because for the price I'm paying, I would rather have that side. And I've stayed in the main building of the Contemporary. I've stayed fireworks side. It's beautiful. Yeah. So I'm just worried of like how much of that integrity is going to be lost.
Yeah, and this is my opinion. The resort is already an icon itself. Why do we need to pump in IP into something that really doesn't need it?
Yeah. I mean, we had this discussion a few weeks ago with Polynesian when we were talking about, I think we were talking about soundtracks at that point.
Yes.
So we've had that discussion, and there's a few little IP things sprinkled very tastefully at like Grand Floridian in some areas, but I could never see like a room, like, you know what I mean? Like rooms are like the last place where you're that's like the final frontier, because sometimes you want to be in your room and you want to feel more serene and not being like entertained. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Now, and The Incredibles is kind of like a retro throwback.
It's very Americana.
Yeah. I would be curious to see how far they go with that idea. Almost kind of taking it back to 1971 as the original Contemporary, but kind of in the theme of The Incredibles. I think they just have to be really careful. Again, haven't seen the interiors of the rooms. I did like the Polynesian one because they really didn't mess well, and they're redoing the ceremonial house too, and that's under.
But it's like, where do you stop?
Where do you stop? Like
at some point, it's like, we get it. Like Disney is a brand in and of itself. Not everything needs to be another, line of that brand. But that could be a whole episode in and of itself. It's just like the mentality behind IPs and such.
Yeah. So, okay, moving on. Last story. This is the big one today. The Disney look. So it has been updated. And if you don't know what the Disney look is, it's almost essentially their dress code. Your appearance, the appearance for cast members. So, traditionally, it has been very traditional.
Yes. And I remember the first time I did Keys to the Kingdom, and they mentioned these things, and I was like, I didn't even notice it, because everyone, is very, and we'll talk about the specifics, but another reason it had been that way for so long, Disney World, especially, but Disney in general, you have people from all across the globe come and visit with different standards, different traditions. And so I feel like Disney always played it very safe and was just very neutral. And what they did and did not allow their cast members to wear, or what was visible, or different colors of things. So that's how I always interpreted it. And I liked it. I liked the just very neutralness.
Well, this, I think, falls in line, in step with the new key,
which
is inclusion. So you mentioned the Keys to the Kingdom tour.
I know. I
think
I painted myself into a corner with that one. Now I just caught
it. So this is now part of it's one of the keys, and I don't really have a problem with it. I mean, individualism I think is important, and here's just kind of one of the preview photos that they had. Hairstyles and earrings for cast members, both male and female. Tattoos can be visible for cast members. They still have to be like a certain size. It can't be like a huge. I think it has to be the size of your open palm. I think that's what I read.
And previously there were things with hair and facial hair, but it was also, they mentioned that, if at any point a supervisor sees you and thinks that has crossed the line, then you have to, adjust yourself. And I would imagine that rule is still in play, that if someone sees a tattoo or something that's kind of like, that might be a little too off brand. Disney's going to be, of course, still sensitive to their guests. But I understand you want the cast members to have their personality, but what's the, you have to balance that with, well, this is a multi-billion-dollar company, but I don't know. It's tricky, but I appreciate some of it. But again, I'm also just like, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I'm old school. I was very shocked to learn some of the things that I just never noticed. I'd never realized I'd never seen a tattoo on a cast member. And I don't care if cast members have tattoos, but I understand that,
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time we've seen some of these things on, cast members, right? I mean,
what are you about to? Okay. It's like, what are you gonna pull on me? Okay, I think Joe Rohde has a pass to do whatever he wants.
I'm just saying,
like, literally,
what's good for Joe Rohde should be good for everyone else. We love Joe, though.
This is true.
We miss Joe. Hope Joe's.
This is also true.
Retirement. He didn't stay retired too long because now he's planning things for SpaceX, I think. It was either SpaceX or Virgin Galactic. That's
my gosh.
Yeah.
That sounds even more crazy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, what times are we living in?
They're going to bring in the Disney experience into space flight for commercial purposes.
Okay. So I've never done Mission Space, but I would do real space.
Okay.
If Joe Rohde was behind it, I would do that.
I mean, it's worse, but sure.
Space is so cool.
You would die in the launch.
No, I wouldn't.
You can't handle Mission Space.
Oh. Okay, maybe. Maybe by then they'll have it figured out where it's a little better.
So what you're saying is you wouldn't have a problem being shot up really fast and then coming down really fast. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm telling you, I like watching documentaries about space, and I think it's cool. And up until a few years ago, I was still iffy if we landed on the moon or not. I think we did. I'm pretty sure we did. But it's really interesting.
Great show tonight, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And we are going to end. No,
I went down a YouTube rabbit hole one day I shouldn't have. I'm kidding. No, it really happened, but I believe we landed on the moon.
Well, yes, of course we landed on the moon. So
yeah, I just went through a period of doubt for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
We need to get into this topic. I'm sorry. Space is cool. Joe Rohde's cool. Tattoos on cast members, nail polish are all cool.
The last thing I was going to say was the Twilight Zone is space, fifth dimension, and stars and stuff. So I'm just saying, if you're a fan of space, I think you'd like Tower of Terror. Okay, moving on. Our main topic for tonight: why solo trips to Disney are awesome. Awesome. And Christoph actually had a comment a little bit ago. Let me go back and pull it up. He goes, happy Tuesday. Great to be back after missing last week's episode, even though I had a good reason. I can't remember what the reason was. I'm sure he'll comment here in a second. I took a solo trip to Disney in 2018 and it was one of the best weeks of my life.
Wow.
See?
Now, this topic came to us from a listener.
Yeah.
Which is exciting. You know, we take what you guys say, like we really do take it to heart. So this came from Brittany on Instagram. So shout out to her. Great topic. We have a couple things lined up, but we thought this would be a really good one to go ahead and tackle because people don't talk about this too often. And with travel opening back up, you may be ready to travel and the rest of your party isn't. And if you want to go to Disney, don't be ashamed to go by yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like Christoph. And I've done it. I've done many solo trips.
Yeah.
Susie, I'm sure, has done.
I've spent many days in the park by myself. I have not driven down, stayed by myself. I've gone down with other people who had other things going on in Orlando, and I'll go into the park and spend the day by myself.
Yeah, most of the solo trips that I have done have been like when I really want to go take some photos in the park, or if something is opening, like a big ride.
Yeah.
So I remember, let's see, most recent one. So Pandora had a preview. Well,
you did Runaway Railway last year. Do you remember that? Didn't you?
Yeah.
Because it was right before everything shut down.
Yep. Runaway Railway. We did Star Wars. We did Galaxy's Edge. I was by myself.
Gosh.
So,
that was so stressful.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was not like other solo trips.
Christoph said he was watching the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony. That's why I missed lots of show.
No,
I remember it was something with wrestling, but I'm like, no, it wasn't WrestleMania because WrestleMania was this past weekend. So, but it was the Hall of Fame ceremony. So that makes sense. But yes, going back to Disney solo trips, we've both had solo trips and they're great. And we're going to share our reasoning why. So Susie, like what is your reasoning why Disney solo trips are great?
Yeah, so I feel like this hasn't been an issue too recently because there's a lot of concerns in the Disney parks right now. Of course, we're still, we're coasting through the end of this pandemic right now. But back when Fast Passes still existed and things were very rigorous throughout the day. We got to go here, then we have a Fast Pass for this time. And with my family, one of us halfway through the day has to go back and take the dog out. I think one of my favorite things about a Disney trip by yourself, when you are even just during the day in the park by yourself, is you're going at your own pace. You're not having to worry about other people's plans, what they, if they need to go to the bathroom or, feeling bad about hiking from one side of the park to the other. You get to determine what your day looks like. It's really like a choose your own adventure story, which is just really exciting. So that sounds very selfish about you don't have to worry about other people, but really there's not pressure to have to do everything when it's just you.
Yeah, I that was going to be one of my main points. You can do whatever you want. And that may sound selfish, but it's true. You don't have, like if I'm hanging out with Susie in the park, we may not necessarily agree on where to eat because of dietary restrictions.
It's true. No, it's absolutely true. Or some people may want to ride rides that should not be done by sane
one of the greatest rides ever created. So I'm just saying that is a fact.
I would also add to this thought, though, if you're coming in, so we have the advantage of, or I guess the blessing of living close where we can basically do a day trip or a quick weekend. But if you're flying, you also have the advantage of not having to worry about other people's flight preferences. So if you don't mind coming in at a certain time in the morning or leaving at a certain time or sitting in the middle, just wherever you can get your seat, you don't have to worry about other people's preferences for travel. I think is another benefit of being by yourself that we haven't had to deal with, but others get that. Don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. A big thing for me, and that was a great point. Big thing for me, because I hadn't thought about the flight times because
You need
I
to
mean,
work with a travel agent moving forward then, Matt.
good thing we know some. So one of the big things for me that is a really big plus for traveling by yourself is use of time.
Mm,
You can knock out so much by
Yeah.
yourself.
really can.
I have, and I'm actually thinking of a couple instances here.
Parkeology?
Archaeology, when I almost did all of the rides in Disney World in one day. No, not just one park, all 4 parks in one day. I almost did it. I missed it by 2 rides. And I would have gotten it if it wasn't for my stupid Uber driver and for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train going down because of a lightning strike knocking out their computers early in the morning.
Oh my
Anyway,
gosh.
I'm not bitter.
That
I've
lightning.
moved on, but that would have
That's
been a
a lot.
nice notch on my belt to say I rode every single ride in Disney World in one day. But I came close. I did it for charity. We raised a lot of money for charity, and it was
Mhm.
awesome. But still have that hanging over my head that I almost did it and didn't quite make it. When I went to Disneyland, I went by myself, and again knocked out as much as I want. Not quite everything, but as much as I could in a very, very long period of time up
Mhm.
in the park from like 7 a.m. until 11 p.m. So it was
I love those kinds of days.
oh man. I mean, I was dying by the end of the day, but it was so much fun. I got to ride everything that I really wanted to ride, with the exception of the things that were closed, like the Matterhorn. I was like,
Oh no.
I know. But you know, again, you go at your own pace.
Mhm.
You do the things that you want to do, sometimes even multiple times. If you want to ride Tower of Terror 10 times, you can do that by
Or
yourself.
if you're at Universal and you want to ride ET and you don't have your friends giving you crap for it.
You know, I love ET, but it just has not aged well. But yeah, I think that's the big thing for me. One of the big things for me is time. The time constraints for you, because now you don't have to wait for your party to go to the bathroom and come back.
Yeah.
Or
Well, part of that, because you're talking about being able to ride more, because some attractions have single rider lines.
yeah, oh yeah,
So, that when I think
not
about
right now.
no,
Not
but
right now,
but when, life is normal, and that saves you a ton of time. Trying to think like through like what parks would be best for that, like Animal Kingdom with a Flight of Passage, not having to like worry about, waiting in line for however long. But then the flip side of rides that don't, or if you go right now, I think when you're by yourself, you get a deeper appreciation for the theming and like ride queues, and because you're not really, I mean, you can meet people in line, but you're not like talking to someone. Like you can just take your time to look around at all the little details, and ride queues have so many details that I think we miss very often.
Yep. Going to interject here with a listener or watcher comment, since people are watching online right now. Kelly says, it's great to do a solo trip to stick to your own budget. You don't have to worry about others wanting to spend more or less than you on everything, food, lodging, etc.
That's a great point.
That's a great point.
It really is. Like I love my mom and I love her dog. Her dog is old. I love Bowden, but Bowden goes on all the trips with us. So that limits us to what kind of resorts we can go to, because it has to be pet friendly.
Mhm.
So I definitely feel that when I go on trips with friends or whatever, not having to worry about those kinds of restraints. And I can say that because I don't think she's watching right now. So can talk all about her.
Yeah. It definitely does free up the opportunities, especially with lodging.
Yeah.
If you want to save some money, go stay at Pop Century or one of the All-Star resorts. But
Yeah.
if you want to be a big spender and go get that theme park view at the Contemporary, more power to you. I mean, it's it opens up so many options.
Yeah. And I would recommend for a solo trip more so than a non-solo trip to stay on property.
Yeah.
It's, you know, travel is easier, but also just for safety purposes, especially ladies. Disney is very safe. They have great security, great just, you know, options everywhere you go to keep you safe. So I would also just recommend going ahead and staying on property. You're also going to decrease your time, like driving to and from the park from, you know, off property somewhere else. So just for safety reasons, if you're by yourself, Disney is probably best to stay on property for.
Right. I think this also opens the door for special things to do,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's dining. You know, you can go have a nice meal somewhere that maybe, again, like Kelly said, is not to the preference of everyone else in your party. The
Mhm.
only party you have to deal with is yourself. And then that also extends over to, you know, other things. Guys, if you like to golf, there are golf courses.
That's a
You can go
great
golf.
point.
Ladies,
Yeah.
the spa treatments, and guys too. Pedicures are nice, right? I mean,
I need a massage. I've missed massages during COVID.
yeah. Census isn't open, so but when that does, and sure it'll be great over at the Grand Floridian and wait, where's the other one? I just blanked on the resort. Why did I just forget it? Saratoga Springs.
Saratoga Springs. Those
Saratoga.
I could
I really
see
know
it
what
in
I'm
the
talking
building.
about, I promise.
Speaking of special things, again, it's not really a thing right now, but I mean, we have cavalcades, but when parades and fireworks are back, when it's just you, it's really easy to get a good spot because you're not having to save like 10 feet of sidewalk for your whole family and get dirty looks from people. You know what I mean? Like it's just easier to find a little spot for you to just sit and
No.
watch everything yourself.
I don't know what you mean because I don't try to squeeze in between a lot of people. So
I'm talking about like getting to the curb early for, I don't know, let's just say the Christmas party parade and waiting there for an hour while your mom goes and shops around Main Street and people give you dirty looks because you're saving her spot on the curb with a bag and they try to crowd you and you don't have any of that. You're not taking that.
I think, hopefully, that COVID has permanently solved that problem.
I don't know.
When
Because
it's all
when
when
those horses come down Main Street, COVID is out the window sometimes. Just be careful, guys. But
when it's all said and
freak
done,
out.
when it's all said and done, and the masks are gone, hopefully forever,
Yes.
I really hope the personal space that we have grown accustomed to during this time stays forever.
I think we'll be more aware of our
For sure.
situational. Yeah, and I think that's a if anything good that comes from this, it's that. But that was just something I thought of that I've done myself. It's just easier to kind of find a good spot for just you.
Benjamin says you don't need to worry about parties arguing about what characters to meet.
I actually had this on my list. I love meeting characters by myself because I am literally 5 years old and I just love going and finding like Merida is so fun to meet. And, you know, everyone, you just have that little fun moment with them. And it's just like special magic just for you.
Yeah. Steph says solo trip might be a good time to sign up for a park tour. Yeah, for sure. So not just VIP tours, but I think she's probably mentioning the other tours that Disney offers that we have discussed on the show, like the behind the scenes or Keys to the Kingdom. Or
what's the
Africa Trek?
Yeah, I was gonna say that one. There's the elephant, something with giants.
Yes, carrying.
There's the tea garden tour during Flower and Garden Festival, which is just so lovely. I hope it's back for next year. It's so relaxing and fun. That's a really good point. I didn't think about tours.
Yeah,
finding something that's unique to something you're into that maybe the rest of your party isn't, like tea or gardening.
So, but essentially, special interests. Your special interest can open up opportunities to do things that you may or may not be able to do with a larger group. So, like if
Mhm.
you love elephants, yes, there is an elephant. There's an elephant care tour in Animal Kingdom, or the rhino. I know they did a rhino tour for a little bit, and Wild Africa Trek. And like we said, Keys of the Kingdom. There's like a behind the scenes tour across, I think, all property that you can.
Mhm.
So, yes, yeah, this is good point there, Steph.
We have a few comments from Instagram if
Oh,
you want
yeah,
me to go over some of
yeah. Let's
those.
go ahead
So,
and do those.
Hannah said, echoing something I said earlier, if you're a girl, a little nervous being alone, stay on property. Again, I said it earlier. I think that is absolutely correct. I feel so safe traversing Disney property by myself. Carson, who is making her
Hey,
return to Disney, very exciting. She says just go with the flow. And
Mhm.
we mentioned that, which is just, it's much more relaxing sometimes being by yourself. Miss Weezer 95 said, don't be afraid to ask someone to take a picture for you. Not everything has to be a selfie. So I think that's
Good point.
another
Good
good
point.
idea. Or make use of the photo pass.
For sure. Memory maker.
David Dollar, one of our friends, utilized single rider lines. And then Travel with Kayla said, enjoy the slow pace, which, yes, just take some time for yourself.
Yep. Your pace is the pace. So that's what's important.
Mhm.
It's you time.
What does a solo day trip or like one day by yourself at Disney look like for you? What is, if you're Matt as you are, what would you do by yourself?
I think that would just depend on the park.
Okay, so pick a park. Where would you go?
Okay. I don't know. Like Epcot's kind of a hot mess right now, but I love Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
When it reopens, well, when everything's done, I think it's going to be great. Oh, we didn't mention all the fun stuff that's coming, like the grand
Oh yeah.
of Club Cool. Club Cool's coming back. I'm
Yeah.
excited.
See, I think Epcot's better with people because there's so many fun foods or fun little things like that like I like sharing food, like, hey, try this little thing, like when you do like food and wine festival, or hey, try this. So for me, I don't think I could do Epcot by myself. I don't.
Ooh, Susie, I thought of a fun Patreon video that we could do.
Okay.
When Club Cool comes back, we have a challenge. We have a competition.
The last time you had us do a challenge, we ate the kitchen sink and I
How?
almost died.
Who can drink the most Beverly in one sitting?
The answer is you. I don't drink carbonated drinks hardly ever. Like kombucha, still like that's rare. Like I can't take carbonation. It gets my nose all icky.
Yeah. So
But
that'd be
fun.
fun.
No, we're gonna do it. It's just gonna be awful.
Magic Kingdom, I would 100% marathon the People Mover when it reopens. That would be great.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah, I mean, I don't know. It would just depend on the day. It would depend on the weather. So I very rarely, I will tell you this, outside of when I'm going down there to like do specific video or photo things, I very rarely ever have a plan. I go down and do whatever, just on a whim.
Yeah.
I'll go down and check dining reservations for one, and be like, "Oh, is anything open?" Oh, and if there's something good that I want, I'll go do it. If not, if I'm in Magic Kingdom, I may hop over to Wilderness Lodge, over to Geyser Point, get that bison burger. Great place to relax.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I found every time that I tend to spend like a day in the park, I find myself doing more character greets than I would if I were in a group.
Okay.
And I also I don't know. I end up doing this a lot by myself anyway, just because of whatever. I love Animal Kingdom. I'm actually wearing a Scar shirt
Mm.
tonight that says I'm surrounded by idiots, which I just thought was funny because we're talking about solo trips. But I love walking the Gorilla Falls and Maharaja Jungle Trek. And
Yeah.
everyone in your group, not that they don't enjoy it, my family and friends, but because you see something different every time. I take forever going through those. Like I just love just sitting and watching the animals.
Yeah.
So
a lot of fun.
that's one thing that I really enjoy also doing by myself.
So yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I think this has been a great discussion. And we want to know, have you been on a Disney solo trip? What are your favorite things? If you haven't, what would you want to do on a solo Disney trip that maybe you haven't done before because you
Mhm.
haven't been able to with a larger party? So you can leave comments on social media. You can find us. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Maybe we'll hide the banner here. There we go. We're Imagineers Disney Podcast on Facebook, at the _ Imagineers on Instagram, and at Imagine_ears on Twitter. Let us know what does your dream solo Disney trip look like? What would you do? And yeah, so that's our social platforms outside of our Discord channel,
Discord?
which
What?
you can find a link in our link tree on
Mhm.
either Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
We had a great time last Friday watching Endgame with a lot of our friends in Discord. That was really fun. Everyone was very active.
Friday night was a fun night when we watched Infinity War, and it's going to be even better this Friday when we wrap it up with Endgame.
Yay!
So I can't remember, where does Endgame fall for you on your list?
Very high, like top 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like Winter Soldier is still number 1.
Yeah.
I love Civil War. You're noticing a pattern in my favorite movies. But I also really like Thor Ragnarok. But Endgame is like top 3.
Yep.
It's just what they had to accomplish and how they did it is so good. We have a review. If any of you guys who are going to join us on Friday who have already seen Endgame want to go back like 2 years ago and listen to our review and tell us how right we are, go ahead and do that because our opinions are spot on.
Yeah. Susie is a big Captain America fan. Not the new Captain America.
No, not John Walker. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait until Falcon and Winter Soldier is done so we can do a recap of that show. Because, oh my gosh.
Things got a little intense this past
I felt sick watching this last episode.
Yeah. I had a very strong reaction.
S.H.I.E.L.D. is very special to a lot of people, including Susie. So I didn't enjoy everything that happened in that episode, but we won't spoil it. Spoil it. It's not time yet.
Well, it's too soon. But if you haven't been watching Falcon and Winter Soldier and you like Marvel, go check that out. Like Disney Plus has hit home runs, I think, just over and over and over again with this new content coming out.
Yeah.
So,
it's good. Oh, it's so good. It's like movie quality.
Christoph says 3 hours long. I might just come in wherever you guys are at during the film since I've seen it so many times.
Come on.
From the beginning.
I went to the theaters, did not get up one time to go to the bathroom. I remember when an article came out and it was like, when to plan your bathroom breaks at Endgame. And I was like, that's for the week.
Yes.
I'm staying in this seat. I have waited all these years.
So there's a moment. Well, we don't want to spoil it for the people who haven't watched Endgame, but I think you know the moment I'm talking about. One of the coolest theater experiences I've ever had at the end of that movie.
I'm getting emotional really thinking about it all.
Gosh, I miss
that. I'm about to literally cry. I miss that shared theater experience so much. And that's why I'm very excited that Black Widow will be also released in theaters in July. So I'm gonna go see that.
Yep. And before we close out the show, we did have one last comment that is directed to you. So I thought I'd just put it up. Kelly says, Susie, I want to go to space. Also, Susie, I can't drink carbonated beverages because they make my nose so funny. You are the cutest.
That is
Thank you,
so
Kelly.
funny. I literally said that within the space of about 20 minutes.
Yep.
I like the idea of going to space. I love that we're alive during this time where like that's a possibility we're looking at. Would I actually do it? No. But I like thinking about being a person who would like that. I wish I were that kind of person.
Yep. There have been a lot of rabbit trails
Call me
tonight.
out.
So I had to throw that
That's
one out there.
funny.
Real quick, going back to the movie night, come join us on Discord Friday night at 8. Like Kelly said, Endgame is hands down the greatest theater experience of my life, and we are going to really relive that together on Discord.
Oh, I can't wait. We have so many fun friends in there. This will be a good time.
So, tons of fun. Come check that out. And if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you like to listen to your podcast, whether it's in the car or at home, on your television, through your smart TV. You can find us by searching for the Imagineers Disney Podcast on your favorite podcast platform. And I think that's going to do it for this week there,
I think
Susie.
it will. That was
fun.
That was fun.
Another
Rabbit.
informative show.
Yeah.
So
Somewhere through all of that mess, there was some good information.
yeah, and if you're planning your Disney trip, you can find us, of course, by emailing us at imagineerspodcast@gmail.com. Let us know when you'd like to take your Disney trip, and we will help make these solo Disney dreams come true. So, so shoot us an email. Let us know when you want to go, and we will get in contact with you soon about planning your next trip, whether it's Disney, Universal, cruises, hopefully soon.
All inclusives.
So yeah, fun times. But well, we appreciate all of you guys, and we look forward to coming at you next week with another episode. But until then, friends, remember, if you can dream it, you can do it.
There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting.